I'm here now with a guy who knows all about having success as a college quarterback, former Clemson player and All-American Tajh Boyd. Tajh, thanks for joining us. Obviously, the big thing people talking about heading into Saturday's game, the matchup between Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence and Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. Before we dive into both of those two and comparing them, I want to take a look back at Trevor's season first and kind of get your perspective on how you think he's done this year. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, there was talk about Trevor's interceptions. We're going to go back to the Louisville game here and kind of take me through here what you think were the issues on these plays here where Trevor threw the pick for this one.
Yeah, so right here I felt like Trevor got a little bit overzealous in this situation. 3-by-1 set. He more of a Tampa 2 style coverage, so they had a linebacker drop into that safety position. Didn't necessarily see the guy the way he anticipated and really just overshot his receiver. Now, that could have been a miscommunication between him and Amari, but more importantly, you got to take care of the football. In this last clip that we just saw, one of the things that you see right here is that it's the end of the first quarter. He wants to take a shot to get in the end zone, but he has Travis Etienne over here in his check down position. Now, one of the things that we've seen him improve on over the year is exactly this right here. So love his maturation, love how he continued to grow throughout the course of the season, and we're seeing him play his best ball right now.
And I think that's something Trevor definitely owned throughout the year. He admitted, you know, he's going to make mistakes. He's not perfect. Dabo Swinney has harped on that this season. And Dabo has also mentioned that he thinks Trevor is better at this point, at this time, than he was last year at this point in time. So if we look at some of the good things Trevor Lawrence has done this year, what have you seen from him?
Just his leadership ability. You know, the ability to let things roll off of his shoulders. Most times, man, we get a guy who's in this position where he is the star of the show, where he is the most heralded player in college football, you know, that's a lot to carry. So we've seen him make mistakes, but we've also seen him come right back from that in the next drive, throw touchdowns and daggers out there. So just his level of confidence, his maturity, the way he's leading, I mean, it's the most impressive thing about him. So his evolution as a quarterback, but as a leader as well, is what impresses me the most, because for quarterback, obviously, it's all a head game.
And he's definitely elevated his run game this year. That was a focus. That's something Clemson wanted him to work on heading into this season. How have you seen Trevor develop his run game this year?
Well, first off, I don't think anybody knew how explosive he was on the ground, but man, it looks like he runs 4.3, 4.4 out there on the football field. But long stride, obviously, it creates a whole new element to this particular offense. You know you're going to have Travis Etienne. You know you're going to have Lynn J. Dixon. You got your guys spread out wide, but when you got to count for him, it takes it to a whole nother level. So he's willing to go out there and fight for extra yards too. For me as a quarterback, that's one of the things that I've always loved, is seeing a physical QB, because when those guys up front see that, they're willing to fight for you because they know that you're willing to fight for them as well.
Yeah, Trevor is definitely not afraid to get hit. We've seen him run into a lot of people throughout this season. Let's talk a little bit about Justin Fields as well. Obviously, he has a lot of similarities to Trevor Lawrence, both coming from Georgia, and he's done a great job for Ohio State this season, and really his first full season as a starting quarterback. What are some of the challenges you think that Justin Fields can present for Clemson's defense? We'll take a look at some of these plays from the Big Ten championship game here and just kind of walk me through what you think Justin Fields does well on this play.
Well, he's decisive in his decision-making. As you can see, he feels the pressure, doesn't necessarily see it, slides this way to evade it, and then steps in, transfers the weight really nicely, throws a bullet across the middle of the field, gives his team a position to score right here. And that's something that he's been doing all season. So been very impressed by him and his ability to play this season as well, and making this Ohio State offense operate at a very high level. Can also get on the ground and run, spread out. He's not just a quarterback who wants to run, though. He gets outside of that tackle box. He's still looking downfield to see if any of his guys are open.
Yeah, I think on this play right here, you can see how he kind of extends the play with his legs, and that's certainly something the Clemson defense will have to watch for, and that's something we've seen Trevor do this season as well, that Dabo has said he wanted Trevor to grow with, to extend plays as well. So that'll be something to watch for sure.
Going off balance, man. His receivers working back with him. They got a special chemistry going on over there. So just as well as Clemson has that three-headed monster with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and T. Higgins, he has that over here with Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins, and K.J. Hill at wide receiver. So it should be a battle for the ages. I'm excited to see, because more importantly, whoever plays defense is the team that wins this game right here.
Yeah, what are some of the other similarities? You touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the things you think that Justin and Trevor have in common, and what do you think is the biggest thing that makes them different?
Well, I think that when you look at them, they're still very young, but they play like vets. And a lot of that is how confident they are operating within their system. They never try to do too much, and we've seen Trevor start to do that early in the year. We've seen him elevate him and transform into doing just what he needs to and giving his guys a chance. Justin Fields does that really well as well. Now, I don't think that there's too many differences between the two. They both run the ball really well. They both make really good decisions with the football in their hands. More importantly, they both lead and maximize the level of play with the guys around them. So really, the difference in this matchup to me is Trevor's been on this stage before, Justin Fields has not. Now, the Big Ten championship game is a huge game, but it's not win or go home, and that's the situation that these guys are both going to be in this time around. So should be a fun matchup.
So who do you think will have the better game, Trevor or Justin Fields, and why?
You know, I think we'll have to see. But again, Trevor, he's been on the stage before. He knows what it takes. He came out there as a true freshman, just obliterated that Alabama defense. Hopefully he comes out here and does the same thing in this matchup against Ohio State.
Tajh, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Julie, appreciate you.